New moon, December 30th at 2:27 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at 9 degrees Capricorn, 44 minutes. So it's not quite the New Year's, but close enough. So get those resolutions, your intentions all written out and ready to go. Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign, so we're going to be focused more on 3D physical stuff more than anything. And with that goat, we're going to be thinking about climbing the mountain to success. So think about your career goals, your financial goals. What is it that you really want to work hard on? Build foundations for the future and all those great things. So, and with Capricorn, though, it might be a little bit slower than you hope, or some delays come involved, but just that's okay. That's Capricorn. And we're also kind of concerned with our reputation and social standing too. And another thing to be aware of, where is Capricorn in your chart? What house is it stimulating? So here's the Capricorn glyph, the goat horns with the fishtail. And look for that, and you can get more specific information about where this new moon is affecting you. Now, a quick reminder, Jupiter in Gemini is squared Saturn in Pisces on December 24th, but this is definitely still in effect. And we're also having, and those are both all mutable signs, and we also have Mercury coming along in Sagittarius to hook into a T-square with that Jupiter and that Saturn. So that Mercury can really act like a trigger. So it's going to oppose Jupiter on the 26th and square Saturn on the 27th. So look for some information to be coming through at that time. Now, I also want to mention Venus in Aquarius, fixed air, is squaring Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, on December 28th. And this can really bring in some maybe some uncomfortable eccentricities of the heart as well as money with Venus. So sample, but don't buy quite yet. Let this transit get by, and that's emotionally as well as with money. Because Venus is going to go into Pisces on January 2nd, and that's going to be a whole new ball game for sure. That's going to be the planet of, that's going to be in divine spiritual love. So anyway, hopefully I'll see you in the expanded version, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. Welcome back to the Magical Mystery School and the expanded version of the new moon in Capricorn 2024. And please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the comment section below. And I also really like emojis too. In case you haven't noticed, I'm into symbols. And I also, and without any further ado, let's go down and look at the wheel. And I just wanted to mention to you that with teaching, they tell us that some people learn better through hearing what I'm saying, and some people learn better through seeing, reading things and seeing what I'm showing on the videos, but also some people learn better physically. So that's another reason why I'm using this wheel and actually physically moving things around, is to hopefully get in touch with your more physical side too. Okay, so we'll hang on, I'm going to bring the camera down. Okay, so here we go with our wheel, and this is just a generic wheel with Aries right over here on in the first house on the horizon, and we've got Capricorn up here at the midheaven, the 10th house, so 1 through 12, and we've got the sun right here about 9-10 degrees, and the moon there, obviously it's a new moon, so they're conjunct. Now, this is a perfect example of how the sun moves a degree a day. Now, a few weeks ago, I was talking to you about that and how you can kind of find your sign, find, different issues going on with you just by counting how many days you are. Your birthday is from when the sun went into a particular sign. And that's exactly true, because remember we were talking about the solstice on the 21st, and that's when the sun was at 0 degrees Capricorn. And here it is 9 days later on the 30th for the new moon, and the new moon is right at 9 to 10 degrees of Capricorn. So a perfect example of that. Now, another thing I want to emphasize again, too, is because just remember, these videos, I'm really focusing on people who love astrology, of course, but who maybe have some information. They're not total beginners. If you're a total beginner, feel free to listen, of course, but you might want to go back and look at my playlist called Astrology for Beginners. There I go through everything in a lot more detail. But I do want to, you know, this is kind of for people who know some astrology, but they want to get get a little bit better at the basics, basically. Okay, so whenever we have a something happening in like this one's a cardinal Earth sign, the first thing we want to look at is the other cardinal signs. So remember, it goes cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal fixed mutable. So and here's one of my wonderful teaching aids. Okay, so the cardinal signs are, there's Aries, and that's the symbol for fire, Cancer, water, Libra, air, and Capricorn, earth. So you're more than welcome to take a screenshot of that. And I don't know why it's not the focus isn't quite as good as I'd like it, but good enough. Hopefully you've been able to make a screenshot of that if you need it. So, and what does that mean? So that anybody, if you've got Cancer, you know, especially your sun or just any planet at all, at 9 or 10 degrees of Cancer, or I would even say 5 to 15 degrees, okay, and give it an orb, at least a 5-degree orb. A lot of astrologers, especially for new moons, give 10-degree orbs. But look at this, you know, Cancer is going to be affected. So again, if you have your sun or your Mars or your ascendant or midheaven, all that's going to play into that. And so study up on that. And then Aries will be the square and Libra will be the square. So this is going to be, you know, feeling energy maybe from outside of yourself. This will be a little bit more conflict, or just maybe even just more energy. And then we can think of the elements. So Capricorn is earth. So we look at the other earth signs, and it goes fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. So we look at Taurus and Virgo, and that's going to be real easy energy. So you're going to be getting a lot of support from this new moon. So don't, be sure you take advantage of that, because sometimes with trions we can kind of miss that opportunity. And there you can see there's the earth, and with its symbol, and Capricorn is cardinal, Taurus is fixed, and Virgo is mutable. Okay, so you're welcome to take a screenshot of that too. Okay, now let's talk about Venus. Okay, in a little more detail. Now, remember back on, here's Venus, bloop, 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 bloop. And remember back on the 19th, she was in exact trine to Jupiter, which is down here in Gemini. All right. And remember I told you to go out and have some fun. I went out with one of my girlfriends, and we had such a great time talking, Gemini, about all of our, maybe a little gossip, all of our mutual friends. And of course, just she's a lot younger than me. So here we are, Aquarius, sort of something kind of new, something a little different. So here again, we're thinking about these air signs. And let me see, where's my little card for air? I had it. Here it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so the air signs, and there's the glyph for air. And Libra is the cardinal, Aquarius is fixed, and Gemini is the mutable air signs. And so we're getting a nice trine there. So comfortable energy. So we went out and we had a good time. But as time has moved along, Venus has moved along too to about 23 degrees Aquarius. And what's happening now is she is squaring Uranus. Okay, so that's a fixed square. So when we have fixed squares, they're a little bit more difficult. Mutable squares, they can kind of, jump on either side of that square, and cardinal squares can be, at least you're trying to move forward. Fixed, you kind of just stay in place and kind of hash over things over and over and over. So so that can be a little bit more difficult there. And here's those fixed signs. Okay, Leo fire, Scorpio water, Aquarius air, Taurus earth. Okay, so those are the fixed signs. So so just remember, in relationship, this is a pretty quick transit because it's Venus, but so don't jump in or out of things too rashly. You kind of want to let the transit do its thing. But if you're in a relationship, you may want to leave it and just walk out, but don't, like I said, I would have the big fight instead of walking out. Because, sometimes fights are good because they clear the air. So, if you're feeling something's wrong in your relationship, deal with it, start working with it. That's what this transit is all about. Now, if you're not in a relationship, this is where you could meet someone that, people in your friends or your family, may not even understand why the heck is she even getting involved or he getting involved in that person. It could be someone who's a lot older or younger. It could be someone that's from a different country, and you may not even be able to communicate very well, but there's that something special, because there is eccentricities here with that Uranus for sure. Or it could even just simply be one of you's from the city and one of you's from the country, and just kind of have different upbringings and that sort of thing. But just again, don't jump too fast in or out. Let this transit take its course, basically. Okay, and since we brought out Jupiter here, let's take a quick look again at that Jupiter-Saturn square. So that's from Pisces to Gemini. So that's our mutable squares. And again, there's our mutable signs. Sag is mutable fire, Pisces mutable water, Gemini mutable air, Virgo mutable earth. Okay. So we've got this mutable square. So again, like I said, with mutable, at least there can be a little bit of back and forth, jumping from Saturn to into Jupiter, and working with that energy. But what's happening right now, and especially on December 26th, is that, and here we go back to Mercury again. It just got done with its retrograde, starting at 6, going up to 22. Going all the way up to 22 and then back to 6, and now it's direct. But now it's gotten up to, now this is about at, this is about 14 degrees. So Mercury is getting to be about 14 degrees Sagittarius. And when we see a personal planet like this triggering more outer planet transit, because this was exact on December 24th, we may not have really felt anything, but here comes the trigger. On December 26th, it's going to oppose, Mercury's going to oppose Jupiter, and then on December 27th, it's going to square Saturn. So in your life, as well as on the news, we should be getting some information, I would think, on the 26th, some announcements, and even in your own life, you'll be finding out, something will be coming to light with that Mercury there. But remember, Saturn can kind of slow things down or delay things. So you might get in a situation where, here you had all these huge, big expectations on the 26th, and then on the 27th, it's like, slow down, girl. You know, not so much. Because Mercury does rule, you know, is our communication planet. And so, and Sag is, you know, exaggerates everything. So we've got a lot of blah, blah, blah type energy here. Oh, and I also wanted to mention the mutual reception again, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So that's what makes, one of the things that makes this so strong, because it's got that mutual reception. And that's kind of, you know, it's not that usual to have that. That's kind of cool, actually. So we do have a T-square now between Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury. And the outlet point is Virgo. So if you've got Virgo in your chart, you may be feeling that, you know, feeling this energy kind of coming at you, basically. So remember, Sag, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo can all be affected by this. And the other thing, too, is, as I was saying, I'm kind of directing these classes or these videos for people who know some astrology but want to learn some more. But let me tell you, there are a ton there. I mean, astrology, you never quit learning. I'm still learning stuff all the time. But just to let you know, as far as aspects go, because I'm kind of working with, you know, beginner to, you know, intermediate type, I'm really just looking at conjunctions, oppositions, and squares. That's our modalities, our cardinal fixed mutable, and then trions, our elements, earth, fire, and water, and some sextiles I'll talk about too. Now there's also semi-squares and sesqui-squares, which I think are actually really important aspects, but at the same time, I'm just trying to stick with the basics for right now. Okay, let's see. Okay. So, oh, and the other thing I wanted to point out, so like I was saying with this Virgo and Sag, just to narrow it down, again, that it's all this is happening around 14 degrees. And I'm going to put, you know, if I put an orb on it, say 10 to 20 degrees of each of these signs are going to be feeling it very personally. So for Sag, that's going to be people, if you're for your sun sign, doing that a degree a day, that's going to be people who are born like December 1st through 10th are going to be feeling this more personally. Pisces, March 1st through 10th. Gemini, June 1st through 10th. And then Virgo in September 1st through 10th. So really kind of, if your sun sign, if you got a birthday in any of that time, be sure to check this out. You're going to be feeling a little bit more of this in general. Okay. All righty. Now, let's see. Let me put you on pause for a second. Okay, so now let's talk just a little bit more about Venus and Aquarius here. And as I mentioned, it's moving on. It's trying Jupiter back on December 19th, and now it's going to be squaring Uranus here on December 27th. Now again, and we've got one of these mutual reception things going on. And remember, this is a square of fixed signs, so it can be a little stubborn here. But like I was saying, you could meet somebody totally different than what your normal relationship, someone older, younger, international, just totally unexpected. So don't jump too fast into a relationship or out of a relationship, basically. And like I said, Venus on January 2nd is going to move into Pisces. Right here, and you know, Saturn's already there, kind of thank goodness here, because when Venus goes into Pisces, I mean, this Pisces is a sign of beauty, spirituality, artistic, otherworldliness. So you could meet someone so very, very different. And like I said, it could be more of a platonic type love, because you know, this is almost, I think of this as a love like nuns have when they marry Jesus or something like that, you know. It could also be unrequited love, that you have a real crush on somebody or something like that. Now, Venus is exalted in Pisces, so this is a real, you know, you can really go with the flow, but make sure you keep moving, because Pisces, you can end up just sort of out there in the middle of the lake, sort of your canoe going around and around in a circle. So keep moving, keep going forward. And Saturn will also help by helping you create a container. That's the other thing. Mutable water here, that can be just like, you know how when you have water like on a really thin little tray with little thin sides and you're always afraid it's going to slosh out? That can be kind of like Venus and Pisces, but Saturn can give us that structure. And Venus and Pisces can also give us, you know, that victim mentality. So, you know, this is also a time, it's going to be in until about the first week in February. This is a time when people can really get their feelings hurt. So watch out what you say. If you get your feelings hurt, just say, oh, Venus is in Pisces. You know, one of the little expressions for Pisces is poor, poor, pitiful Pisces, you know. So, you know, just think, you know, people need a lot of encouragement, reassurance, and hopefully Saturn can help give us that too. Another thing about Venus and Pisces are the rose-colored glasses. They can see the best in everyone, if you know what I mean. That I'm sure you've had a friend who's like, you know, the guy that they're living with or whatever, as soon as they get a job, everything will be better, you know. If only, you know, this would happen, things would be so much better, and stuff like that. So just be aware of that, that's why I say don't jump into a heavy-duty relationship. Give yourself some time to get to know the person and that kind of thing. Remember, Pisces are the fish, and they're swimming in two different directions, so you can kind of get some conflict there in that in love as well as in money too. Remember that also. Okay, so I think I've gone on long enough here, and I'm going to call it quits for now. Next time we're going to talk about Mars opposing Pluto on January 3rd. So it could get really exciting out there. So just remember, everybody, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Bye!